우선 가장 기억에 남는 거는 이스타한테 2경기 졌을 때인 것 같아요. 저희가 우선 템페스트한테 지고 나서 여기 온 뒤로, 그러니까 우선 물론 그 전에도 좀 진 적이 없긴 했는데 여기 온 뒤로 또 처음 패배를 겪어본 거기 때문에 되게 또 이제 오랜만에 불타오르더라고요. 그래서 그때가 제일 기억에 남고 그때의 기억을 다시 좀 살려가지고 이번 대회에선 좋은 모습만 보여드리고 싶어요.
I guess you realized there was less heroics available for MVP Black, who's still engaged though.
I don't know if they should be here. That's going to be a thundering separating them up, and this is the perfect opportunity for MVP Black to take some kills. Yao gets ancestral heal. Sign gets 3 with the mosh pit.
일단 4강 진출해서 기쁘고요. 근데 하지만 저희의 목표는 결승 우승이기 때문에 아직 그렇게 기뻐하지 않고 더 연습할 것 같아요.
And next team again forced to fight next to the Immortal.
Medevac retreat out. Medevac retreat out there as Miriday was caught in a little bit unawares. Oh, finishes him off with the grenade.
원래 처음에 올 때는 자신이 없었어요. 근데 좀 여기 와서 하다 보니까 저희가 예전에 했던 폼이 어느 정도 올라오는 것 같고, 그리고 저희가 다시 팀원에 대한 믿음 이런 게 살아나는 것 같아가지고 아마 내일 컨디션만 좋으면은 좋은 결과를 기대할 수 있을 것 같아요.
MVP Black, they're looking confident and they're looking strong. If you had to choose a weak point in that team, there is none. They are looking solid, but are they really the ultimate evolution of Heroes of the Storm that they used to be?
I just want to say that when your memorable moment is taking a loss, that says something about who you are and what your mentality is, guys. And when they took that loss, they came in the next game and put up an 8.5-minute game and dominated. So you can see that when they take that and they use that as motivation, that's a scary, scary team.
Let's be real, this is a team that has talked about fatigue. This is a team that has not felt, as much drive recently. But I think with people starting to challenge them as of late, they're going to find that little bit of motivation back. There's nothing, when you go on a win streak like they have done, of course, they're like, well, I'm the best, nobody can rival me, ha ha ha, and they laugh with glee. But no, normally, now that they lost to Tempest in that final, they did lose that game to E-Star. I think there's a bit more fire burning there now.
I think that is the case. I think there couldn't have been a better situation to happen to MVP Black other than losing to Tempest in the Grand Finals. That was just enough for them to realize, okay, this isn't as pretty as we thought it was. We need to just, get back together, get our heads in the game, work as a team, trust one another. And when they do that, we saw the 30% coming out in the early group stage. I feel like we're closing in on 100 here today.
Yeah, and we can definitely say that they're looking strong. They were announcing swap roles potentially, but none of these shenanigans have actually happened. On the other hand, though, we see the last hope for the West. mYinsanity, 4 Germans and 1 Bulgarian are here to do the impossible. Let's give it up for the European team.
I'm happy that we made it out of the group stage, and the first series was, I think, really good for us because we had a very good plan and it worked out.
Like we're the only team from the Western scene that got to the semis with all the other Asian teams.
But then I'm not too happy on how we did against Tempest. We had some ideas of what to do before and we thought that they would work, but they turned out not to.
Even though we looked shaky against Tempest, I think we did good.
Kill off as many as they possibly can.
They can't do
They're going to kill them. They're going to bring them every single one down. Alex desperately trying to get out to the core, but it's not going to work out. He tries to keep himself in. They save the core. I can't believe it.
MVP Black was the former champion. They basically won the last 6 months or so.
But we still have a fighting chance, and depending on what plan we come up with today, we might be able to take the series.
I'm just saying we win the first map, and then the second map we play our cheese, then we're already 2-0 and we have the lead and we have the momentum, and then I think we can beat them.
mYinsanity will move on to the core dread. And
now that we've played and lost against Tempest, it would feel really good if we can meet them again and then get our revenge in the final.
Being the best in the world in this season would basically mean everything.
Here we go, back on the stage, and I love what Dredd just said. It couldn't have gone better for MVP Black, if you will, because they have had that last spark to reignite their fire. And on the other hand, could it have gone any worse for mYinsanity now that they are facing the newly awakened MVP Black, Jehao?
I mean, we talk about MVP Black being a well-oiled machine. They're almost flawless in their execution, their gameplay, and individual play. The thing with mYinsanity is they occasionally have hiccups, but if they play within themselves, they have the potential to go toe-to-toe with MVP Black. But it's going to take a perfect performance in a best-of-5. If they slip up, they have to make sure that they can recover, and I think that it's possible.
I think the most important thing is them gaining momentum. I think game number 1, if they truly are looking to win the series, game number 1 means a lot. It doesn't mean that much to MVP Black, I feel like, if they manage to win it. But if mYinsanity wins it, that momentum could be enough for them to, as he said, maybe bring out a little bit of our cheese, get a double game on them, and then that, we saw that happen versus Tempest. It seems like MVP just broke. Game 1, close, 2, Game 3, 4, what just happened?
This season as a whole has been a complete story for mYinsanity. From qualifying last for the original regional to now making top 4 after winning their second regional, after losing to Dignitas in their first regional. The chronological order of their steps and progression has been from rag to riches, as I said before. And right now, top 4 in the world. Oh my God, have we seen mYinsanity improve?
Have the steps stopped? Is this where they finished their climb? That's the biggest thing. That you said that they've made the steps along the way. Is there one more, and is there going to be one more after that? That's the biggest thing right now, making it into the top 4.
However, if there is one team that can really pose a threat to the Asian teams, I think it has to be mYinsanity. No other teams, as Kalaris pointed out, has improved that much. No other team feels as comfortable in an offline environment.
I feel like you're underestimating Tempest. They did equally poor in the beginning of their season, and then they came out getting first place in one of the top regions in the world. It's not taking away anything from mYinsanity, but to say that they are the most improved might be a bold statement.
All right. For now, though, we're going to focus, of course, on the upcoming best of 5. Many heroes have we seen coming out from mYinsanity. They are always down to pull out something out of the ordinary, and the first battleground that we will see here is none other than Sky Temple.
I mean, this is a map that favors a lot of rotation, lot of different varying play styles. It's not out of the question that it would be something like an Abathur pick. Can somebody bring something to the table that is going to throw MVP Black off? Dredd talked about this just the other day. There's not a lot that you can do cheese-wise or quote-unquote different meta-wise that can go up against a team like this.
We guarantee ourselves a Towers of Doom map. That was the 3rd map on there.
That is amazing.
We haven't seen that in this group stage at all, correct?
We have not.
In the previous group stage. Oh, wow, we're already in.
MVP Black actually respect banning out the Vikings out of fear of mYinsanity's approach. Guess what? The insta-lock Illidan here for them. With Sonya banned out, they're in a beautiful spot and instantly responding with Serial Falstad. This is going quick. These guys knew exactly what they were looking to do.
How long ago is it since Europe locked in a Tyrael that fast?
There it is, boys. Abathur with Illidan. That is the comp that is old school, but is now in meta once again, if you can get a hold of it. Remember, Illidan not always making it through the draft. I love how quick this is going.
If there is one team that knows how to utilize Abathur, the slug life is definitely real. It is MVP Black. By the flip, or on the other hand, though, we have to say that Dignitas, they tried to run Illidan first against mYinsanity yesterday as well, and for them, it didn't really work out.
No hesitation on any of these drafts. They know exactly what they're going into. They're executing their game plan right now, and they are instantly blowing things up. Guys, we are looking at a hover over Morales already with
really
Tyrael
scary.
This early. mYinsanity, what is going on here?
This is the exact situation that we saw MVP Black actually take the Morales as well. They have 2 fail-safes. Whenever she gets in bad position, you have Sanctification. You also are going to have the Gust as giving you the breathing room in order to be safe. But I am already afraid for mYinsanity. MVP Black, they're trying to get something to kill. They have to kill the Illidan.
But with basic attacks, is that the right recipe?
Yes, you poke him to death. I mean, Raynor actually works, I think. And if he gets a stim drone, tell me that doesn't work at some point.
It does a large amount of damage, but this is really risky.
Guys, I'm going to have to rip up all of my notes. What just happened? happened?
Keep in mind, Falstad has global mobility to go hunt Abathur. If he can find Abathur,
That is very true.
if Abathur gets aggressive with positioning, Falstad can easily go find him.
Yeah, he definitely can. Kyoto usually very good. It's Sky Temple, Abathur is a really common strat for MVP. They actually adore picking Abathur. It's not an uncommon approach for them, so I don't expect him to get any of those risky positionings. He should know how to be able to play into the Falstad here. But MVP Black now on to the trying to figure out a tank, what they're going to be looking for the front line at this point, and probably more standard backline. They also have tasks that are available if they really want to put all their eggs into the Illidan basket, but I don't think that's going to be the case anymore when you look at the Tyrael and the Falstad.
Which is the talent on Reyna that knocks things back? Is it Relentless Leader?
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
This just got a lot scarier for Morales, though.
Oh, Greymane. Oof.
A lot scarier.
Yeah, Abathur Greymane, double Greymane, just going to be diving the backline left and right.
Abathur works with everything they have right now.
Yeah. I actually expect that it's going to be a Greymane clone just because of how much damage that thing
definitely.
does.
Powerful.
Very scary stuff coming out here for MVP Black. But I like the point that you mentioned, Kalaris. We have Relentless Leader and all-star talent here that Tyrael has. The imposing will could actually be something to stall Illidan.
The hilarious thing about this is that it was fast until Morales Reyna came out and then MVP slowed down a little bit. They were like, okay, you guys went really EU on us right here. And I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. I'm wondering what the last pick's going to be.
I'm pretty sure that was a big smile on Splinter's face.
And Artanis is going crazy.
I called it before we even began. Here we go. All right. I said in the back, I thought we were going to see Artanis today, and here it comes. They've been running this a lot in scrims, and oh my God, is it powerful.
So the mentality is essentially let MVP Black engage onto them. You have the blind. Are they going to go with the blind onto Artanis?
I feel like you have
most
to.
likely, yeah.
Okay, look to get the blind. You have Sanctification. You have Gust. There's no fight that they take where you don't get it on your own terms. You use Morales to out-heal them, and then Raynor just kills them all with...
Is it a matter of trying to wait out this clone? I mean, the clone attack, obviously, if you can...
It would be in their best interest to be able to wait out the clone, but I think this is really risky.
This is really interesting. I didn't expect them to bring it out this early in the best of 5.
Yeah.
I expected it to come along, but not this early. So for people out there that are like, Artanis, why is he here? What's going on? He is actually... very powerful in the later stages of the game. He is almost nigh on unkillable. Sometimes you actually see it with an Abathur, but obviously that's on the other side and doesn't really work out too much. But he is strong right now, and they have confidence with him.
I can't wait for the people in America to wake up and be like, what is going on here? Hopefully they're still up already and watching this, because this is an explosive start to the draft and the set.
Let me say this. I have never been as excited to hear predictions for this upcoming game as much as I am now. J-Hell, what do you think who's going to take game number 1?
I believe in the power of Artanis. Give me mYinsanity.
Dread.
MVP Black.
Very short. I like it. Polaris, last but not least.
I promised myself I wouldn't do this in game number 1. I'm going mYinsanity.
Hello, Trixler.
And as cool as their draft looked, of course, mYinsanity's draft that is, I just cannot vote for them. I have to go with my MVP Black here. The last time I voted against MVP Black, or excuse me, against mYinsanity, was at DreamHack Tours, and mYinsanity won. So maybe the blessing of Kendrick will be a thing once more. For now, though, let's throw it over to our casters for the first series, who are going to be Wolf and Kaldor.
Artanis, Morales, and we have good old Jimmy in the roster.
This time it's real.
Great start. This time it's actually
real. We really
real.
have Jimmy Raynor in the game, and this is going to be crazy because this is not a composition MVP Black is going to be used to playing against.
I can shed some light on what they're trying to do here, but let's introduce the players first. Wolf, take it away for the Korean team.
All right, we have Sign playing Muradin Sake on Greymane, Meride playing Rhaegar, Kyocha is on Abathur, and Rich, of course, on the Illidan.
Norok for mYinsanity. He's playing Jimmy. He's on Reyna. We have Blumbi on Tyrael at the front line. Hazu on Falstad. Splendor with Morales. And Darkmok on Artanis. And ladies and gentlemen, from the get-go, mYinsanity has said we have prepared special drafts. We know that we have strategies that can hit MVP Black hard. We need to surprise them. We need to take these games, and this was definitely a surprise for the Korean team.
Yeah, absolutely so. And, you know, to be totally honest, Kyler, I feel like you're much more versed in this strategy than I am, as we do see these two teams trading forts here, or rather cannon towers at the bot and in the top lanes. Do you have any idea what mYinsanity is trying to do? Because it looks to me like Insanity, especially. I know that part of their name.
I know exactly what they're going to do here, and I can bet you already that a few of the European teams, the players were sitting there, were watching the draft and were like, I remember this. This is something that we're familiar with. This is a backdoor strategy. They are going for the medevac here. They're going to try and snipe a keep. And this is actually one of those things that where they said, we are going to risk a lot here. We have a trade in forts, as you already said. The only one who's flying down is Hazorps. But this is really all about level 10 later on. They're trying to go in, and they said, what we need to do is our first backdoor has to kill the keep. If we drop the keep, then we are in a great spot to take it here. They have Falstad with the mobility. They have the Sank Ontario. They have a lot of damage. The Repression Pulse is going to come into play. Reina, of course, is also a structure killer. There's a lot that they can do with this, and they are trying to dominate the map.
Well, taking a look at this already, MVP Black is taking a whole level lead in EXP, and they are going to get the level 4 first. They did get a better trade, and they split to get more EXP. Now, not to mention, of course, Abathur is in the mid lane during all of this, but you know, this strategy for the early game here for mYinsanity hasn't paid off too well just yet, but it's just a setup, as you're mentioning, most likely for that cheesy keep snipe coming up a little bit later on. Already, MVP Black is winning the war on the shrines as well, as a little bit of a slow rotation coming up for mYinsanity up to the top lane.
Yeah. mYinsanity is definitely taking a risk here. There is no doubt about it. They already said that they are a little bit afraid that MVP might even play a mule. They said, okay, we are expecting them to play Abathur on this map. We are expecting them to go for the slug, and once that they have level 7, there might actually be a mule coming in for them if they have a bit of an idea what we are up to. But if we get that snipe onto the keep, then we are in a good spot. But as you already pointed out, they need to make sure that the early game is not going to be too much of a disaster. And already the pressure at the top lane as the Korean team is fighting for Temple number 2.
It looks like with the earlier Temple rotation, MVP Black is, you know, because they got all the shots off, they're going to go ahead and force the fight here. So they are actually going to get about a Temple and a half off of this. mYinsanity, again, not going to overextend, just happy to back off. They do have Falstad to go and sit in that lane, and he's actually going to rotate down to the bot lane now as well. Again, though, structural advantage to MVP Black, and they are closer and closer to level 7. And Artanis, one of those heroes that we don't see very often in competitive play, but later on, especially if this game goes late, it can be, even though it's a push strategy, it's kind of a cheesy strategy. If you go late game, is basically unkillable.
Oh,
especially versus an Illidan. Like, you know, with the heals on Morales, they also have Tyrael shields, Sanctification. Illidan is not going to want to have a fight with this guy.
Suppression Pulse is going to be a huge tool then later on in the game as well. You're totally right about the Wolf. Also on level 1, amateur opponent has been taken for Artanis. Once again, catering to the style and strategy that they're trying to play here. Abathur, by the way, on 7 now, going for the Vile Nest. The Koreans, they don't know what mYinsanity is going to try and do, but that doesn't mean that the European team is going to be successful with it.
No, that's absolutely right. Okay, Rich is diving hard here onto Splendor. Splendor is on the retreat, and Rich is going in. Meriday actually committing to this as well, and they will get the pick, but can Rich get out? Looks like he's going to use Nurok to bounce away. He does escape for the time being. That's 2 kills here for MVP Black.
2 kills for MVP Black. The Koreans playing a beautiful game here. A lot of pressure onto the fort at the top lane, but they dive deep for the kills, and mYinsanity is under a lot more pressure than they expected early on. They already find themselves a level behind, and 2 of the forts have been taken down.
Abathur getting a lot of extra soak for them as well here in this game. You know, with that rotation with Falstad away, they actually sent him back, so he's actually down and safe, but he was getting a little bit of body soak on. Very careful play here from MVP Black, and they are just starting to snowball this lead towards level 10s, which is a huge power spike, as you mentioned, with the suppression pulse. So mYinsanity does need to kind of hunker down and get up to that point.
This is the scary thing if you're facing a team like MVP Black. They will always push the advantage once they have it, and they saw a chance to go not only for the kills, they went for the structures, and now mYinsanity has to be extremely careful. That early level 10 is going to be a huge problem, and let's keep in mind that the second temple phase, even though we already have 3 forts destroyed on the side of the red team, is going to start attacking the keeps right away.
And this is a really scary thing for mYinsanity as well, because of the way that Black decided to do their level 1 push. They killed the fountain, and mYinsanity did not. So MVP Black does have that potential to go back and heal after they do an aggressive dive, which they are doing right now onto Hostile Ops. He needs to be able to avoid that Storm Bolt. He does do a nice, sick barrel roll there, but I don't think he's getting out. There's the stun, and yet another pickoff here for MVP Black.
And MVP Black, they go straight for the boss, as it seems. They are hyper-aggressive here. And I like how you mentioned that they took out the well, because they didn't stop there. They took the fort, too.
Yeah, and they have the well down, or they have the well available to them. So if they get this boss and it takes a little bit of their hit points away, they can always rotate back and heal up. They're going to get this boss. They are going to get level 10. And mYinsanity is just letting this go. They're trying to soak up to level 10 as well. They know what's going on, but they're just going to have to allow this to come to pass.
It's really like, it's just MVP Black sitting there looking at the draft and saying like, okay, this is not normal. Something is weird here. And they said, guys, you know what we're going to do? We're going to just pressure them so hard that no matter what the idea is for mYinsanity, they will never be in a spot where they can actually execute it.
I do want to point out, Kyosha was body soaking the bottom temple by himself as Ab with her for a little bit here. He got some of those shots off, and now the 5-man push here in the bot lane is going hard with the boss. And MVP Black may push to end the game here if they can get a big fight with their level 10s.
Well, they're already starting to move in. That boss, of course, is a very early one. We're only 6 minutes into the game, but mYinsanity is under pressure since it's a 2-level lead for the Koreans. They have the heroic abilities. Once again, Blumby under pressure as Sign is jumping deep. Rich is going in as well. The boss is still on keep. This is going to be the fastest keep in this tournament, Wolf.
Yeah, 6 minutes down, and there it goes. Darkmok getting in here a little bit aggressive. We'll have to back off now. And it looks like MVP Black, because they weren't able to secure any kills there, they don't have heroics to allow them to get a pick. They're just going to back off and actually rotate towards the mid lane. Again, Kyosha, after he regened a little bit, now going to have Merryday come over here as well. And they're going to continue to have these temples fire while they 3-man push the mid lane.
mYinsanity did not expect this aggression. Usually you don't end up losing structures this early. Both teams actually went straight for the fort at the beginning of the game, but MVP just didn't stop. There's now finally the medevac, but they already lost a keep themselves. Here comes the backdoor. They're trying to go for it. They're going to get that snipe for sure. The question is it going to be enough? Is it going to be too little too late? Everybody's flying in, and that is going to be a guaranteed keep. Everyone on the side of MVP Black is heading back home, but the keep is going to fall.
The keep is going to fall. There's the sanctification just to secure it, or will they? The keep gets very low down. It goes. They get the kill on Splinter, and this is, of course, going to be a team wipe under core, but the keep will, of course, be down, and that means the top lane is always going to be pushed with the catapult minions.
Of course, the strategy was a little bit different for mYinsanity. They know that they will lose every single member on their team for the keep. They were willing to take that trade, but they never in their wildest dreams expected that they would lose their own keep 6 minutes into the game to a heavy pushing MVP Black.
And it looks like MVP Black is moving towards that mid lane with all the waves pushed so hard. It looks like they want to try to get that keep secured here. I don't think it's going to happen. It's too high health, and they're actually going to trade, or rather just go up into these bruiser camps instead. Don't forget the temple is still available at all times, and the medevac is actually off cooldown already, so they could fly in and try to get some of that structural damage done. But the second they leave, MVP Black is going to push for the keep. So this temple is just kind of out there. It's something that isn't really being taken. Normally on this map, the objective is so important and it does so much damage to structures, but in this case, both teams are just simply using their heroes to destroy the structures.
Exactly. MVP Black at this point, of course, knows also what's coming. They know what mYinsanity is planning here. And the problem is you cannot make these trades a keep for 5 heroes all the time, since the death timers, of course, are going to increase. Splendor again under pressure. The team fights are going to be very, very difficult for mYinsanity, since the idea is a different one. But they fly in deep again. Here comes the attack for the core. And can they really pull that off? We have a lot of damage on the side of mYinsanity. They're trying to go for the core.
They're going to
already. Everything is going pushed here. It's the race, ladies and gentlemen. And MVP Black is having the core down to 50%, as is the only chance for mYinsanity. But it's not enough. MVP Black takes down their core and wins game number 1.
What an incredible finish there. We do, have to highlight how quickly MVP Black responded to the strategy. Of course, they didn't know exactly what was coming. They didn't even add the mule, as you mentioned, but what they did was they aggressively attacked, and that's something you could do in almost any esport when you're up against a strategy like this. Is just, if you don't know what's going on, go hard, go attacking, go aggressive, mess with their strategy, because if you don't allow them to do what they want to do, then you get an instant lead, and you can actually, kind of snowball that into the mid and early, from the early to mid game.
I am a huge fan of having some cheese strategies, having some strategies that are supposed to surprise your opponent, but as you pointed out, Wolf, MVP Black reacted so fast, and also when they saw the second medevac coming in, they immediately said, like, guys, this is core, we're gonna race them and we're gonna win it, and they did. And this is game number 1, the lead for MVP Black, and we're gonna give it back to the panel to see what these boys have to say about map number 1.